Explosions. 2 explosions getting together and having sex. A Michael Bay movie. No, I'm kidding. Imagine a Michael Bay movie that doesn't deal just with explosions. I know it's hard to do, but there have been a few. And one of those was The Island. Remember The Island? When saw this, and even though it's a repeat of basically every dystopian film, I actually kind of enjoyed the movie. It's not that bad. However, little side note, if you're a fan of Mystery Science Theater, then you probably know about the film Parts the Clonus Horror. The makers of Parts the Clonus Horror actually sued Michael Bay. I remember when I was at the movie theater watching The Island, I thought, this is really like Parts the Clonus Horror, the Mystery Science Theater installment, right? And then lo and behold, it was. Setting that aside, if we look at what's in this film, and Michael Bay does at times do movies that relate to Pentagon level type stuff. Remember the Benghazi movie, yeah? Now, this is a dystopia, and like all dystopias, it's going to mix together everything from previous dystopias, right? Brave New World, THX, you name it. But we are put into a synthetic environment where everybody is running around in their, workout Fitbit type. Wait a minute. It's not now, but it's almost like now. You go back and you watch this and it's like, this is kind of looking like now, except nobody has any tattoos, right? I mean, nowadays everybody's like covered in these badly drawn, it looks like everybody's skin looks like they put silly putty on the old cartoons in newspapers. That's what everybody's tattoos look like. It's like silly putty pulled off of an old newspaper. Anyway, in this, everybody's running around with their workout gear all the time in this perfect environment. And we notice that the Ewan McGregor, our main character, Lincoln 6 Echo, everybody's got these bizarre names, but it's a perfect society, right? Like Logan's Run, everybody's kind of roughly the same age. They're about 30. Everybody's perfectly fit. He seems to have an interest in the Scarlett Johansson character, right? And a couple things that emerge right away that are curious is his reasoning abilities, his questioning abilities, they call the attention of the Sean Bean character, right? They catch the attention of Sean Bean, the scientific madman that runs and controls this whole facility, right? So he starts noticing that Ewan McGregor's questioning things, and in every dystopian movie, if you start questioning things, you're singled out, right? And so they start scanning his urine. The toilets scan his urine to tell him if his chemicals are imbalanced. That is actually coming, right? This is 2006? Is this 4, 5, 6? Is this movie? Now we're getting to the point where now smart devices are actually going to start doing this. Can you believe this was in this goofy movie? Well, that's not the only thing in this goofy movie, right? So they have a lottery in this society. The society is controlled by this lottery that everybody wants to win because they think they get to go to a imaginary island, right? Which is a kind of heaven or something like this. But it turns out it's not true. Spoiler alert, everybody just gets their innards cut out because it's part of an organ harvesting scheme. But not just that, they're clones, and the elite are purchasing and buying clones for various nefarious purposes. Are there underground facilities with clones? I don't know, but I will not be surprised. I don't know. I can't, but I won't be surprised if we do find out in 30 years that, oh yes, by the way, there have been multiple Umbrella Corporation, Raccoon City, underground cloning facilities, and you just didn't realize it was always going on. This is definitely all in the movies. Again, nothing's going to surprise me because everything we see in movies, 20 years later, it turns out it was all true. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not much. Right? So, breakaway civilization, underground elite facility where they are cloning people. And it just happens to be out in the desert outside of Vegas. We're going to do another movie pretty soon with the exact same thing. Underground cloning facilities. So, they catch Lincoln 6 Echo questioning things. He notices a butterfly. If everything in the outside world has been destroyed by some kind of like, nuke release, I think that's the mythology, right? You can't go outside because everything's contaminated. But now there's a butterfly flying around. Well, how'd that get in here, right? So he starts questioning. He's brought in for his assessments. And we see a bunch of dissociation art, which is very interesting, right? Sean Bean has like these Picasso-ish drawings, and it's all dissociation and double-mind and double-think, which is cluing us in not just into like dissociation, but it's clones, right? They're copies of one another, right? And those clues are pretty interesting that they're there if you pay attention. So I'll give Michael Bay credit for a little bit of depth there. And then we realize that this super advanced facility is utilizing nanotech, right? They put the nanotech in Lincoln Six Echo's eyes, and then it turns out that it's not just organ harvesting, it's also surrogate children. You can have, if you are infertile and you want offspring, you can have your clone give birth, right? And then they kill the cloned mom, right? So there's total crazed, full-on illuminate confirm going on here. The most revealing part is when they show us the scene where they're tied to the Pentagon. The Pentagon has I think he says $128 billion contract involved in this facility. Wow. And so they actually purchase a private security firm when Lincoln 6 Echo goes running away, right? To track him down. Literally, it's like Umbrella Corporation type stuff, right? But in this selling point sequence, this is the most telling sequence where they actually mention the euthanasia and eugenics laws that are passed in 2015 prevent certain things from going on. So this business has to go underground. Now, we're in 2015. This movie is, 10 years before that, 2004 5. So we don't have like, quote, eugenics laws on the books, but the whole system that we're under actually is a giant biometrics, total illuminate confirm, bloodline, eugenics type system, right? It's passed beyond old school eugenics into like a total technocrat type system, right? They can actually, once again, implant memories, fake memories, into the clones. The clones think they have a background that's all fake. It's all made up. And again, we've seen articles, DARPA doing this, right? Implanted memories all the way back to Blade Runner. I've covered Blade Runner for many years. Go watch my in-depth Blade Runner analyses if you want to see the analysis I have of the implanted memories and all that. And then we find out that this is connected to Merrick Biotech. And by the way, did you notice the Xbox ads in the movie? Interesting. Bill Gates, Xbox, Microsoft. Married to, connected to Merck, Biotech, Big Pharma. It's all kind of clear if you pay attention. And also we want to pay attention to the kind of esoteric level where the Sean Bean character is kind of like a demiurge too. If we look at it in the allegorical sense, just like with Dark City, you're trapped inside this, enclosed facility. And then when they all get out at the end, they emerge to see the sun, just like THX, right? Same thing. Plato's allegory of the cave is always the same story. Dark City, the sun comes up at the end. Same thing. But the weird message at the end of this is that it's the normal humans who are the bad guys, right? And the clones are emerging at the end to take over, right? So just like we see with the movies about AI, it's the bots that are the good, innocent entities, right? The bots that eventually evolve to have consciousness. The clones that are, oppressed rise up against their oppressors. And it's the evil humans that are the bad guys. Interesting. So I would say that this is another Gnostic telling. I would say it's definitely worth watching. It does have a lot of the patterns that we always see in the Gnostic tellings, Plato's allegory of the cave, but it incorporates a lot of interesting elements to the dystopian films that are not usually there, like the clones, right? So just like with Resident Evil, as we're going to see, is this something that we should be concerned about? How real is cloning? right? I mean, that stupid ear on the back of a mouse, that's BS, right? That's not actual growing an ear on a mouse. Are there human clones? We don't know. If you can you prove to me that there are human clones? Please prove it. I'm not going to believe it just on the basis of some, article somewhere. Anyway, it's an interesting question. I don't know yet. But if there are clones, I would say that, yeah, this is, we've been told this in movies like The Island, which are definitely Illuminate confirmed. This is Jay Dyer from Jay's Analysis. Be sure and tell me what you think. Did I miss? What did I miss in The Island? Tell me what I missed. Please help me. You can subscribe, click the buttons and all that stuff, and then also support me by going to jaysanalysis.com and subscribing there, or subscribing here on YouTube and buying the signed copies of Esoteric Hollywood 1 and 2. Thank you.